Fluent Flow podcast. New videos every day. Let's learn English together.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. I'm really glad you're joining us today. We're about to unpack a topic that seems, well, almost obvious on the surface, but it holds this really profound power that often gets overlooked. Today, our deep dive is all about the transformative impact of quiet mornings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so our source material for this, it's this really fascinating personal account. It's called Why I Love Quiet Mornings. It's short, very heartfelt. But our mission today is to, go deeper than that. We want to pull out the key insights, maybe some surprising observations, and definitely the practical wisdom that's kind of hidden in this simple story, all to help you cultivate a more centered, more intentional start to your own day. It's sort of like looking at a really calm surface of water, and then you suddenly realize there's this whole vibrant world of life just underneath it, waiting to be discovered. So this subject, quiet mornings, it might seem simple, but believe me, it's brimming with potential aha moments. We're excited to uncover them with you.
That's a great analogy. It really is. And it speaks to something universal, doesn't it? I mean, so many people are looking for just a moment of peace in their, incredibly busy lives. So this deep dive, it's not just about, a checklist for the morning. It's really an exploration into deliberately cultivating calm and intention. It touches on that human need, right, for tranquility when everything around us is so demanding. And what's really fascinating here, I think, is how one person's story, this personal narrative we're looking at, can actually reveal these universal principles for well-being. Principles that apply to, pretty much all of us, no matter what our lives look like. It just shows the quiet power of making simple, consistent choices.
Absolutely, it really does. So, okay, let's start right at the core. The philosophy that seems to run through this whole account. The writer describes the morning with such beauty, really evocative. They say, and I'm quoting directly here from the source, "In the morning, everything is quiet. The sun is soft. The air is fresh. The world is still sleeping. And I feel calm." Let's sit with those sensory details for a second. That soft sun, you can almost feel it, can't you? The gentle warmth. And the fresh air, imagine breathing that in, really crisp and clean. And the world still sleeping. That deep quiet, it's almost something you can touch. It's so rare. And the result, calm, a deep sense of calm. So let's unpack this bit. What is it about this specific time, the early morning? What makes this quiet so different, so special?
That's a really good question. And it's fundamental, isn't it? Because early morning quiet, it isn't just, quiet like a library is quiet or maybe late at night. It has this unique psychological and even physiological quality to it. At that hour, there's a real absence of external demands. And crucially, digital noise. Your phone isn't likely buzzing yet, right? Emails aren't pouring in, the sort of hum of society's expectations, it hasn't really started up. And it's this specific lack of immediate cognitive input that lets your mind settle into a much deeper state of calm. It's different from quiet later on.
How so? How is it different from, say, quiet in the evening?
Well, think about late evening. Your mind might be winding down, yes, but often it's still processing the day, isn't it? You might be replaying conversations or maybe already planning for tomorrow, or even in the afternoon if you find a quiet spot. Your brain is usually still carrying what we call a significant cognitive load. That's just all the information. It's juggling tasks, problems, memories, everything. But the early morning, when the world is still sleeping, as the source says, that offers a genuine respite. It feels like unburdened possibility, a totally fresh start before the day's pressures even knock on the door. This really allows the mind to clear itself, like hitting a reset button almost.
Reset button. I like that.
Exactly. And if you think about the bigger picture, this initial calm creates this foundational state, a blank canvas for the day. It's like having a clean slate mentally and emotionally. And that kind of pure stillness, it's becoming rarer and rarer and honestly more valuable in our always-on, hyper-connected lives.
A blank canvas. That's a perfect way to put it. It really captures that feeling of possibility you mentioned. Okay, so we have this core idea, this special quiet. Now let's get practical. Let's look at the actual actions this person takes, because this is where it gets really interesting, I think. The specific steps they outline. It's almost like a blueprint for an intentional morning. The writer emphasizes consistency. They say, and again I'm quoting, "Every day I wake up early, around 6:30 a.m., it's still a little dark." Yeah. And then what happens right after waking, even before the sun's really up? They describe these very deliberate but really small actions. Quote, "But I open my window, I take a deep breath, and I smile."
Oh.
So these first few choices, seemingly so simple. What's the significance there? How do these three little things set the tone so effectively?
Well, they're not just random things to do. They function as powerful rituals. And rituals, even tiny ones, are incredibly good at creating structure. They anchor our intentions. They even cue our brain, telling it what state we're aiming for. Waking up early, like around 6:30, that has physiological benefits too. It helps align us with our natural circadian rhythms, our body clock. Even if it is still a little dark, like the writer says, it means you're getting ahead of the rush. You're choosing to be proactive with your time, not just reacting to it. That itself sets a different psychological pace right away.
Proactive, not reactive.
Exactly. Now let's break down those 3 actions. First, opening the window. This is symbolic, yes, opening yourself to the day, to possibilities. But it's also literal. You're letting fresh air in and breathing that crisp morning air. It can immediately boost alertness, get more oxygen flowing. It gently wakes up your body and mind. It's a clear sensory signal. The day has begun.
Makes sense, like literally letting the day in.
Precisely. Second, taking a deep breath. This is pure mindfulness in action. When you breathe deeply and consciously, especially in that quiet, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the rest and digest system. It helps lower stress right away, slows your heart rate slightly, and basically tells your body it's okay, you're safe, you can be calm and present. It's such an immediate, accessible tool for grounding yourself.
Just using your breath. Amazing.
It is. And third, smiling. This one's fascinating. It connects to something called the facial feedback hypothesis. Basically, the idea is that even if you don't feel happy, the physical act of smiling sends signals to your brain that can actually influence your mood. It might trigger endorphins, create a positive feedback loop. It can genuinely lift your outlook for the day. So these 3 things together, window, breath, smile, they aren't just actions, they are deliberate, powerful signals. You're telling your brain and body, we're starting this day with calm, with positive intention, not with chaos or reaction.
Deliberate signals to the brain. I really like that phrasing. It's like you're programming your morning for positivity right from the start. Okay, so those are the first moments. What comes next in this intentional routine? Well, the writer moves on to what sounds like a wonderfully mindful beverage moment, they say. Then a warm drink. Make a cup of tea. Sometimes green tea. Sometimes chamomile. It's warm. It feels good in my hands. I sit by the window. I drink slowly. No phone, no TV, just me and the sound of the morning. That no phone, no TV part really jumps out, doesn't it? That feels very conscious, deliberate avoidance. So how does this simple act, drinking tea, combined with unplugging like that, become such a profound moment, a moment of self-connection?
Oh, this step is absolutely crucial. It really builds on those first actions. This is an immediate digital detox right at the start of the day. By choosing consciously to avoid the phone or TV, you're preventing that instant mental overload. You stop that barrage of news, emails, social media, other people's demands before you've even had a chance to, well, check in with yourself. It protects your focus, your cognitive resources. It allows for real internal presence.
Protecting your mental space first.
Exactly. And the sensory experience of the warm drink itself is powerful too. The warmth in your hands, the steam, the aroma, it all contributes to comfort, to ritual, to being present. And notice the choice, green tea for maybe some gentle energy thanks to L-theanine, or chamomile for its known calming effects. That shows some nice intuitive self-awareness, tuning into what they might need that particular day.
Right, choosing based on need.
Yeah, and the phrase, I drink slowly, that's huge. It's not just about enjoying the tea. It's a practice of mindfulness. It's the opposite of just, gulping down coffee while checking emails. Drinking slowly means you engage with the experience. You savor it, you're present, and then just me and the sound of the morning that creates this protected space, undisturbed. It's an opportunity for genuine self-reflection, for your own thoughts and feelings to surface before the world rushes in. So this whole tea ritual, it sets a precedent for the day, choosing awareness, calm, and conscious interaction over just reacting.
It really does sound like creating a little protective bubble. Peace and awareness just for you before anything else intrudes. Okay, so after the mindful drink, the routine seems to shift towards engaging the mind, but gently. Cognitive and creative activities, the writer shares. I love to write in my notebook. I write my thoughts, my goals, my feelings, even just one sentence. It helps me feel clear and ready for the day. And they also add, sometimes I read a book, just 1 or 2 pages. It's quiet and I can focus. What really strikes me here is the flexibility. Even just 1 sentence or 1 or 2 pages. It's not about huge tasks, is it? So what's the mental benefit of these simple acts, writing and reading, especially done in that quiet, early space?
Oh, the benefits are profound for mental clarity. Journaling, even for just a minute or two, like you said, is such a powerful tool. It helps with emotional processing, with mental decluttering. When you take thoughts, feelings, worries out of your head and put them on paper, it creates a bit of distance. It helps you gain perspective. You might see patterns, identify what's really important, maybe solidify an intention or a goal for the day, and even just one sentence that captures it perfectly. It can be enough to catch a fleeting insight or acknowledge a feeling, stopping it from just getting lost in the noise later on.
Just getting it down on paper makes a difference.
It really does.
Yeah.
Similarly, reading a book in that quiet environment, it significantly boosts focus and comprehension. Unlike, say, quickly scanning headlines or scrolling social media, engaging with a physical book, even just for a couple of pages, requires sustained attention. It acts like a gentle warm-up for your mind. It activates different neural pathways, gets your brain ready for deeper concentration later. Compare that to trying to read or journal later in the day when your mind is probably already full of decisions, distractions, just the mental clutter from hours of activity.
Yeah, totally different experience.
Exactly. So these early practices, they prime your brain. They prime it for intentionality, for focus. They prepare it for the day's challenges, but in a gentle way. It's about gentle activation, not, jarring stimulation first thing.
Gentle activation, not jarring stimulation. I like that distinction. Okay, so the mind is gently woken up. The routine then seems to move into some really lovely, nurturing physical aspects. The writer says, I also stretch my body. I do simple movements, neck rolls, shoulder circles, a little yoga. I breathe, I move, I feel alive. And then there's this detail I just love. Then I take care of my plants. I water them. I talk to them. Yes, I do. It's fun, and it makes me smile. And finally, food. I also make a simple breakfast, maybe toast with peanut butter or a banana, sometimes eggs, always with joy. These all feel like acts of care, don't they? Self-care and care for other living things too. How do these pieces fit into the overall feeling, the benefit of this quiet morning?
They really round out the whole picture, don't they? It becomes truly holistic. First, the gentle physical movement. Moving your body early on is so important, and not just for flexibility. It gets your circulation going, delivers oxygen to your muscles, to your brain. It can give you a real noticeable energy boost. And the way they phrase it, I breathe, I move, I feel alive, that connects the physical awakening to this deeper sense of vitality. It's mind and body waking up together. It's not about a tough workout, clearly. It's about loosening up, shaking off sleep, signaling to your body, okay, time to be gently active.
Feeling alive. That's a powerful outcome from simple stretching.
It is. Then nurturing the plants. That adds this beautiful layer of connection and, well, simple joy. There's research, in environmental psychology about the benefits of interacting with nature, even on a small scale like houseplants. Caring for them fosters a sense of responsibility, connection to something outside yourself. It can be incredibly grounding. And the detail about talking to them, it's whimsical, yes, but it highlights this playful, positive interaction with the environment. It brings lightheartedness, gratitude into the routine. It's a little feedback loop. You give care, you get joy back.
I love that. The talking to the plants bit is great.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And finally, the simple breakfast, always with joy. This frames eating not just as refueling, but as mindful nourishment. It's the difference between, say, grabbing a protein bar while running out the door versus consciously preparing and appreciating your food. Eating slowly, savoring it, whether it's toast or eggs. It turns a basic need into an act of self-care, of gratitude, being present with the experience of eating. So, taken together, this whole phase, it underlines a complete approach. Physical energy, mental clarity from before, now adding emotional connection, and even a sort of appreciation for living and nurturing. It ties it all together beautifully.
It really does paint a picture of a fully integrated start to the day. Body, mind, even a connection to nature and food. And the writer sums up the feeling, the result of all this so perfectly. They say, in the morning, I don't rush, I don't run, I move slow, and I feel strong, I feel happy. This choice, this conscious decision not to rush, to move slow, feels so countercultural, doesn't it, in our fast-paced world? How does deliberately choosing slowness change the whole experience of the morning and lead to those feelings of strength and happiness?
It's incredibly countercultural, you're right. And that choice to not rush, not run, move slow is, I think, really powerful conscious rejection of that constant societal pressure. The pressure to be busy, productive, on from the second you wake up. In a world that often seems to glorify speed, choosing intentional slowness, that's almost an act of rebellion. Definitely an act of self-preservation.
Self-preservation. How so?
Well, think physiologically. Starting the day slow and intentionally helps regulate your body's stress response. Instead of immediately kicking off that fight or flight response with a frantic rush, which floods your system with cortisol, the main stress hormone, a calm start, helps keep those cortisol levels lower. And we know chronic high cortisol isn't good for us, right? Affects immunity, anxiety levels, all sorts of things. So reducing that early morning spike promotes calm and stability right from the beginning. Then, psychologically, starting slow fosters this deep sense of control. Self-efficacy. You are choosing how your day begins. You're not just letting external things dictate your pace and your mood, that feeling of agency. It's incredibly empowering. So the feelings the writer describes, strong and happy, they aren't just random. They're the direct result, the accumulated effect of all these mindful practices. Strong suggests resilience, feeling capable. Happy comes from that internal harmony, that positive emotional baseline they've intentionally built. This whole section is just a powerful testament to how simply managing your pace, choosing intention, can profoundly shape your emotional and physical state. It builds a resilient foundation for whatever the day holds.
So it's not just about having a pleasant morning. It's actually about building resilience for the entire day.
Wow. Okay, this brings us to the bigger picture then. The really profound benefits. Why do these quiet mornings matter so much? Beyond just feeling nice, the source material sums it up clearly. It says, quiet mornings help me start the day with peace. When the world is quiet, my mind is calm. They give me time for me. Quiet mornings can change your day. And maybe your life. Powerful stuff. So what does this all really mean for us, for anyone listening? Why is this simple practice so incredibly potent?
Yeah, that summary really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's unpack those benefits a bit more, give them some deeper context. First, start a day with peace. This is more than just feeling relaxed. It's about setting a positive emotional baseline for the whole day. When you start from a place of peace, you build this internal reservoir of calm that makes you more resilient, less reactive when stressors inevitably pop up later. Peace here isn't just, the absence of noise. It's an inner state of harmony, feeling centered. That sets a totally different trajectory for your day compared to starting rushed and anxious.
Building a reservoir of calm. I like that.
Exactly. Second, my mind is calm when the world is quiet. This highlights that crucial link between our environment and our internal state. We often underestimate that. A calm mind, especially first thing, is simply a more effective mind. It enhances your ability to make clear decisions. It boosts creativity and problem solving. It improves emotional regulation throughout the day. When your mind isn't immediately cluttered, it has the space to think clearly, strategically, to respond thoughtfully instead of just reacting. And that calm carries forward.
So better decisions, more creativity, just from a calm start.
It sounds simple, but yes, the foundation matters. Third, they give me time for me. This is so critical today. In our culture that's so focused on productivity, on doing, carving out time for self-care, for self-connection, it's not selfish. It's absolutely foundational. It's about replenishing your energy, checking in with yourself, fostering self-awareness. If you neglect that, you deplete your resources, which impacts everything, your work, your relationships, your ability to it's the whole fill your own cup idea, right? You need something in there to pour out.
Foundational, not selfish. That's a key distinction.
Absolutely. And fourth, that really powerful statement, quiet mornings can change your day. And maybe your life. Oh, this speaks to the ripple effect. Think about it. One good day, starting with peace and intention, that's valuable. But a series of those good days, consistently built on these quiet, self-connected beginnings, that can slowly, surely add up to significant personal transformation. Small, consistent shifts, they aren't just about having a better day. They actually build new habits, reinforce positive ways of being. They can lead to huge improvements in overall well-being, mental health, life satisfaction over time. It connects directly to all those bigger ideas about mindful living, self-management being essential for a thriving life.
It really shows that compound effect, doesn't it? Small steps, daily, leading to big changes. Amazing. So, okay, you might be listening to this and thinking, wow, that sounds great, but 2 hours? I just don't have that kind of time in the morning. And well, here's the really good news. The source material tackles this head on. It explicitly says, you can try this too. You don't need 2 hours, maybe just 15 minutes. Which really underscores how accessible this is. There's no pressure for perfection, no set duration needed. It's about starting small, being consistent. And the writer even boils down the essence into this really simple list of activities they advise: to sit, to breathe, to read, to think, to move, to smile. This is why you should care. Because this is something you can actually do starting tomorrow without turning your life upside down.
Precisely. That idea of starting small, it's fundamental for habit formation. We know this. Trying to completely change your routine overnight, It rarely works. It often just leads to frustration, right? But small, incremental changes, they are much more likely to stick. And honestly, even just 15 minutes of intentional quiet can be incredibly powerful. It can start shifting the whole trajectory of your day.
Okay, so 15 minutes is realistic.
Yeah.
What about those core activities? Sit, breathe, read, think, move, smile. Can we make those even more concrete for people?
Absolutely. Let's break them down simply. To sit. This just means intentionally stopping, finding a spot, getting comfortable, and just being for a moment without doing anything else. Quieting the external noise, tuning inward. To breathe. This means taking a few conscious, deliberate breaths, maybe deep belly breaths. It regulates your nervous system, grounds you right here, right now, brings oxygen, reduces immediate stress. To read, to think. Gently engage your mind. Maybe read one page of something inspiring. Reflect on something you're grateful for. Set a simple intention for the day, or just let thoughts drift without judgment. A gentle mental warm-up. To move. Simple, gentle movement, like those neck rolls or shoulder circles mentioned, a few stretches. Maybe walk around the room. Just waking up the body, releasing stiffness. Not a workout. To smile, intentionally cultivating that positive mindset. Remember the feedback loop. It's a simple physical cue that can actually lift your mood. And the source also gives us that really clear, actionable checklist you mentioned. It's a great starting point. 1, wake up a little early. Just 10 or 15 minutes can work. 2, drink something warm. A comforting sensory ritual. 3, take a deep breath. Or maybe 3 deep breaths. Ground yourself. 4, say something kind to yourself. That's self-affirmation. Powerful stuff. Your internal dialogue matters. 5, move your body. Gently awaken. 6, write a goal. Could be tiny. My goal is to stay calm in traffic. Whatever works. 7, enjoy the quiet. Just notice it. Savor it. And my strongest advice here, experiment. Seriously. Not every morning has to look the same. Not every step will resonate with everyone. Find what feels good to you, what genuinely helps you feel more peaceful, more clear. The goal isn't rigid rules, it's mindful exploration to find your own best morning rhythm.
That's brilliant advice. Start small, experiment, make it your own. Perfect. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into why I love quiet mornings, I think we can really see the transformative power hidden in these simple practices. We've explored how just deliberately carving out moments of peace, of intention right at the start, can set such a profoundly different tone for your whole day. So we really encourage you listening right now to think about this. What small, quiet moment might you be able to cultivate for yourself, maybe starting tomorrow? How could just 10 or 15 minutes of conscious calm begin to reshape your day?
And maybe one final thought to leave you with. If just a few minutes of intentional quiet can have such a big impact on a single day, well, just consider this. What if we deliberately carved out stillness, not just in the morning, but maybe at other key points in our lives? How might integrating those pockets of quiet, of presence, fundamentally alter our relationship with time itself? How might it deepen our overall well-being? It really invites us to think about fostering a more mindful, maybe more harmonious existence, one quiet moment at a time. It's an ongoing journey, this self-discovery, fueled by the conscious choices we make every day.